What's going on, man? It's your boy Jay Holley, and we are back with another episode of Unfiltered with Jesse Holley. I am Jesse Holley, the sports talk equivalent of Braille. People feel me when I speak. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're far too kind. You could have been anywhere in the world, but I am so glad you are here with me. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Go like, subscribe. Where we at? Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Fanatic Views. Make sure everywhere that we are that you're there. Don't miss an opportunity to be where I'm at. Don't miss an opportunity to hear this knowledge that I'm getting ready to drop on you guys today. Of course, you know I'm talking about all things sports, but of course Cowboys. But before I get into any of that, you guys know how I like to get down. I like to give my motivation in the beginning because let's be honest with you, let's be honest with me, so with us. Some of y'all ain't gonna be here at the end, and that's okay. I'm not for everybody, but those that stay, let me give you this good word right here. The motivation for today is simply put: success is not a destination, it is a decision. Success is not a destination, it is a decision. You know, I was thinking the other day, and you guys know I don't tell you who to believe in or what to believe in. I believe in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. That's who I believe in. You believe in whoever you want to believe in. I'm not here to convert or change any of you. I'm here to live my life my way. But I was thinking about something the other day, and it's biblical, but it was just amazing to me because I thought about gifts. Like everybody has a gift. You were born with a gift. I don't know what your gift is. I like to believe that my gift is the ability to articulately create and convey words. I think that's my gift. I think I have an energy. I think my energy is my gift. And what I love about gifts, that if you truly are walking in the gift or gifts and purpose of who you are, it's unlimited. It never runs out. And when I think about success is not a destination, but it is a decision, it makes me reflect on the fact that when you decide, after you find out what your gift is, when you decide to put your gift in play, I think you walk right into success. I think when you decide that my gift will make room, that's proverb, okay? That's Proverb 18:16. That is the decision. It is a little bit of searching to help discover what your gift is, and then it is a definite, defined decision that I am going to walk in it. And when you do that, because I say to myself sometimes, you can give me and 10 other people one topic or multiple topics, whatever it may be. You can give us the same time to prepare. You can give us the same information. You can give us the same guidelines on what we're supposed to present it. And I just feel like mine is going to be the best. Part because I believe in me, but the other part is because I just feel like I'm walking in my gift. And I can present it in such a way that you're going to feel it way more than anyone else when they present it. And so I'm never worried about platforms and who's in a platform, on a platform, what role they have, or this or that and the third. You put me in a room, you put me at a desk, you put me in front of a mic, and I don't give a damn who you put in there with me. Because I've made the decision that I'm going to walk in my gift, success is there. And I'm going to shine. I know you're probably saying, well, hold up, they're walking in their gift too. I have an undeniable belief. So that's why I never get upset or disturbed about if someone has, that should have been my job. That should have been my position. That should have been. I'm like, God, I know God is so good and I'm walking so much in my gift. He'll create another one. Like, I think sometimes, like, I have to remind myself, God, I'm sitting in Michael Irvin's, I'm at Playmakers. I'm going to tell you that. I'm at Playmakers. I'm sitting in Michael Irvin's office, right? To some of you, it's like, oh my God, Michael Irvin, da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's not that way to me. And for whatever. But like, God created out of thin air, in my eyes, this crazy show to get this dude who's working at as a security guard to the NFL. Like, I say it sometimes to myself and I don't believe it, but I believe it because I lived it. So I don't worry about, someone got the job at this station or someone got the job over there or I was supposed to be next in line or I should have been next in line. I'm just like, he'll make another one. I'll continue to walk in my gift. He'll continue to make another one. It doesn't matter to me. So success is not a destination, it's a decision. A little bit of research, find your gift, and then make the decision to be successful in it. All right, man, let's get into this Cowboy preview. The Dallas Cowboys take on the Detroit Lions. I got to admit, this Sunday, 3:25, AT&T Stadium. We talked about this last year and the years past. I am a Man Campbell fan. I gotta admit, I'm not saying that I'm cheering for the Lions, but there is a level of appreciation that is had by me for Dan Campbell, for what he's been able to do in Detroit. And if you're being honest with yourself and you're being truthful with yourself, you have to say just a little bit, a small, teeny bit, that you admire it too. That he took a lowly franchise in Detroit and with a little bit of time, a little bit of biting in the kneecaps, a little bit of drafting, man, he's turned Detroit into a contender. Now, the Cowboys have taken care of business the last 6 times they played Detroit. They're 6-0 in the last 6 meetings against Detroit. We know what the game was last year. I kind of thought, man, Campbell kind of cost the game for his Detroit Lions team last year because he could have kicked a field goal, but he went for 2. He went for 2 twice. It was as if the first time was a penalty. Then you got another penalty. Like, you had multiple options. You had multiple opportunities to go for the extra point and go into overtime. Dan said, no, we're not going to do it. Just want to update you guys on some of the injuries. Deron Bland, who's been on IR, he's had his 21-day window opened up this week. Right now, as we stand today, he's playing. Deron Bland will be playing on Sunday. Now, that may change between now and then, but he practiced full yesterday. He practiced full today. And they're talking about maybe a pitch count with him, but I just think if he gets in the game and he's playing well, unless he taps out because he's tired, conditioning may be an issue, I don't see him coming out the game. Kalen Carson had a shoulder injury. He's back. Zach Martin dealing with a little bit of a lower back. He's getting up there in age. He practiced off to the side today. But I think the biggest person that popped up on the injury report, and this is massive in the sense, I don't think the player is massive. I think his responsibility on this team, and specifically on the defense, is massive. Eric Kendricks did not practice at all this week, dealing with a calf and a shoulder injury. Eric's big because he's your green dot and if you don't know what the green dot is, he is the quarterback of the defense. He has the microphone, the speaker in his helmet. Play call goes into him. Defensive play call goes into him. He gets it out to everybody else. He's the guy that's directing the defense, making the changes and all that kind of stuff. And he's the one guy truly that's in this Mike Zimmer defense who knows it front and back. He's the one guy who's able to relay whatever that Mike Zim wants in this defense. He's the one guy who can thoroughly relay it to those guys. And if he's not playing, I think your green dot goes to maybe Malik Hooker, because I don't think that your starting linebacking core now would be Damone Clark, who hasn't played in the last couple weeks. By the way, Damone Clark, from what I'm hearing, this is, I'm not trying to be Jess with the mess, but what I'm hearing is a little bit upset with his role. There's a lot of guys in the Cowboys organization that's upset with their role. Damone Clark's been kind of a little pissed off that he kind of went from playing a lot more last year to basically not playing at all this year. A little pissed off. So I don't even know how much you want to put Damone Clark out there right now in the way that he's feeling. But potentially your linebacking core could be Damone Clark, I say rookie but second-year player Demarion Overshown, and rookie Maris Luafau. Not saying those players won't eventually be really, really good, but I think having Uncle Eric out there controlling things helps him out tremendously. I don't think Damone Clark is that level of a leader. I don't think Damone Clark is that level of communicator. I don't think Damone Clark has that level of understanding of what Zim wants in this defense. And this defense is it's been given a break these last 2 weeks. The Cowboys defense, their eyes, their brain has been given a break. With playing the New York Giants and then playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, who what they do offensively is very bland, very straightforward, not a lot of moving and all that kind of stuff. So they've been able to and I think that's why you've seen the Cowboys play better defensively, because they haven't had to deal with pre-snap stuff. They haven't had to deal with any of that. I do want to read you some pre-snap numbers that the Detroit Lions will do, because the 2 weeks that the Cowboys have had off, that ends now. That ends Sunday with the Detroit Lions. And so the Cowboys defense, and this comes from RJ Ochoa, the Cowboys defense has allowed 9.8 yards per attempt on pass plays that involve pre-snap motion so far this season. This is, and if not obvious, the most in the NFL. Almost 10 yards of first down per play on passes that involve pre-snap motion this season. The tight end, Sam Laporta for the Lions, has been sent in motion 37% of the time this season. Among those who qualified, that's the sixth highest rate in NFL overall, and notably the highest among tight ends. So the Cowboys have had an opportunity to kind of have their eyes and their brains resting a little bit on defense, because the Giants and the Steelers don't have all that pre-snap motion. It's coming on Sunday, The Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson, shout out to Ben Johnson, go Heels. Ben Johnson, I told you guys this before, Ben Johnson was the backup quarterback when I was at UNC. He is a Tar Heel. The Lions, they're tied 6 in snaps at motion. So at the snap of the ball, they have a guy in motion. They're tied 6 in the National Football League. They do that 33% of the time. That means when the ball is snapped, there is someone moving in some direction at the snap of the ball. And they're fourth in motion overall, 74% of the time. Someone's moving offensively, whether that's into the motion, whether that's escape motion, whether that's across the formation, whether that's orbit motion. Orbit motion is when they go behind the quarterback and the running back. Some sort of motion that they do 74% of the time. You want to know what that is a reference is to the Cowboys? The Cowboys are 30th in motions happening at the snap of the ball, the Cowboys are 24th in the league at 47% at overall motion. And you wonder why things get stagnant for the Cowboys. They don't move. They got a stagnant offense. But for the Cowboys defensively, again, no Micah, no Tank, no Marshawn Nealon. You're probably going to see KJ Henry elevated up this week. They got him off the Bengals practice squad last week. Yeah, they got him off the Bengals practice squad last week. They probably used last week to ramp up and get him acclimated into, but they need this guy. If the Cowboys defensively are going to have a chance, and it's going to be interesting, the Cowboys are going to have whatever Mozzie ate 2 weeks ago against the Giants, he needs double portion this week. They need ginormous games from Mozzie Smith, from Linval Joseph. Because what's getting ready to happen with what they do offensively, the Detroit Lions, they have the second best offensive line in football. They have five Pro Bowlers last year on this offense. They had 2 first-team All-Pros. They had their right guard, Penei Sewell, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown, their receiver, were first-team All-Pros last year. This Detroit Lions offensive line is big, they are physical, they are nasty, they're athletic, they are earth movers. They are earth movers. They recreate lines of scrimmage. And what makes them even better, not only do they recreate lines of scrimmage, when you're breaking down how explosive runs happen, yes, you can say, most 15, 20-yard plus runs happen because receivers are blocking down the field. You're absolutely right. Yes, the point of attack blocks happens to create the holes. You're absolutely right. But the essential part to how and why 15-plus yard runs, what we call splash runs or explosive runs, happen is because second-level players get blocked. That means guards are able to push the man down on the center or push him onto the tackle and then make their way up to the linebackers, who are designed by nature to fill the gaps, spill the play, and have a linebacker scraping over the top to end the run. Detroit does such a wonderful job. They really do. And I know some of you are probably sitting here saying, but Jesse, we beat Detroit last year. Why are you slurping on Detroit's offensive line right now? I'm saying yesterday's price is not today's price. What you did last year doesn't compare to what you can do this year. I'm just telling y'all. And I'm not slurping. I'm not doing any of that, what y'all talking about, because I know what some of y'all saying it right now. But feel free, be my guest. Turn on the tape. You don't even have to know what you're truly watching to understand that these humans make these humans go that way. These Detroit Lion humans face up against the other humans and they move them out the way. You don't even have to understand football. You just have to know what offensive line what humans are the Detroit Lions. And you watch them move earth. And it's going to be critical for the Cowboys to be able to withstand that. I find it hard to believe that the Detroit Lions don't rush for 200 yards this weekend. I just, when you take in all the information that you have and you say, this run defense played really well against two bland teams that don't move, that don't trap you, that don't throw misdirection, that don't serve eye candy. And then you say, well, what did the same defense do with Tank, Nealon, and Micah? What did the offenses do to that defense, to that Cowboys defense, with all those players that had shifts, motions, pre-snap motion, post-snap motion, deception, eye candy, all that kind of stuff? They set records in rushing. I don't think this is any different with Detroit. I would be shocked if Detroit doesn't rush for somewhere around 100, between 175 and 200 yards. I'd be shocked if Detroit doesn't have at least 4 15-plus yard runs. I'd be shocked. And if the Cowboys defense want to impress me, want me to do a complete 180, want me to put them in a respectable category, you shut this offensive line down and this running game down, I talk about you differently. Not only do I think you're going to struggle with that line up front, I also think the Detroit Lions are one of the best play-action pass teams in the league. You know why? Because you have to believe when they play action pass, when they go to play action, because the run game is so good, the linebackers must step up. And that just opens up all the easy button throws for Jared Goff. And if you want to talk about does like cultures and systems and coaching matter to a player, look at 2 players in the last couple of years. Look at Sam Darnold this year, 4-0 with the Minnesota Vikings. That's Sam Darnold. Yep, the same Darnold that you're thinking about in your mind right now. That's Sam Darnold. Got Minnesota rolling. And look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff went from, a name in a trade that sent Matthew Stafford to the Rams right before they were like, well, we don't think he's good enough. And he had a rough start in L.A. to a place down in Detroit where he is beloved, where he is encouraged, and he's in that conversation of one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Not the elite category, but what he's able to do with that offense and with that team has been remarkable. And he has weapons on every level. He has Amon-Ra St. Brown. He has Jamison Williams. He has Sam Laporta. And, of course, he has a 2-headed monster in Gibbs and Montgomery. Like he is, and that offense, that offense is gonna be difficult to stop. Now, what I also will say, I remember what CeeDee Lamb did last year. I do. 227 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think it was like over 10 catches in that game. Went off. Had a 95-yard bomb where I thought Dak should have been sacked for a safety. The linebacker had to close his eyes. Dak shrugged off the hit, threw a bomb down the field to CeeDee Lamb for a touchdown, 95 yards. Need it again, buddy. And this comes off the heels of, I don't know. I said this on my DLS Cowboys show when it came to CeeDee Lamb. We have a lost Lamb. I know that Lamb is doing some great things, but here's what Lamb has done in the second half of football games this year. Let me get his first half stats. In the first half of games this year, CeeDee Lamb has 21 catches for 353 yards, 2 touchdowns. In the second half of games this year, CeeDee Lamb has just 4 catches for 25 yards and no touchdowns. So CeeDee comes out the gate cooking, and maybe he's still working off some of that training camp or the lack thereof. Maybe there is some sort of, I don't know, they're not seeing eye to eye, and I'm not trying to create controversy, but there's something that has happened, and I get it. I know what you're saying. Well, Jesse, you're supposed to be the football guy. You're supposed to understand that CeeDee's getting bracketed and CeeDee's getting this and EC getting that. You think CeeDee Lamb is the only number 1 receiver in the National Football League that teams bracket? Huh? You think teams don't bracket Jamar Chase? You think teams don't bracket Justin Jefferson? You think teams don't bracket Tyreek Hill and name the other number 1 receiver from any else other team? You think that? You think that they don't get bracketed as well? Huh? Of course they do. Of course I know that. Don't stop those guys from cooking. Those 4 catches in the second half for 25 yards. We ain't talking about Jalen Brooks. We ain't talking about Kevontae Turpin. We ain't talking about Brandon Cooks or Jalen. We ain't talking about none. We're talking about CeeDee Lamb. 4 catches in 5 games in the second half? Ain't that much bracketing in the world. Ain't that much bracketing in the world. You got to be locked up for real. Like, you have to be in prison. And while, I know, don't worry. Here's what you got to say too. Well, Jesse, other guys are making plays and Cool. I'm for that. It is not a recipe for long-term success when your number 1 receiver is getting lost in second halves of football. I don't want that to be a way of life for the Cowboys offensively. Yeah, sure, other guys can get off too, but 88 got to get off too. Because the slant that you threw to old boy over there who just got a 10-yard gain, 88 has the ability to take that 10-yard gain and make it a 40-yard gain. They don't have that ability. They don't have that skill set. But the Cowboys offensively, if they're going to compete and win this game again to go 7 in a row in the last 7 games, I said it last week. I hope he put the suit in the cleaners. I hope he gets it back by Saturday night, Sunday morning, because we're going to need another Superman type effort from Rain Dakota Prescott. You're going to need everything you were in Pittsburgh minus the turnovers. You're going to have to go and score 27 to 30 points to win this game, if not more. You're going to have no other choice. You're going to have to light the scoreboard up. Do I think Dak can do it? I do. I think there are a ton of plays to be made on this Detroit Lions secondary. If, and that's a big if, the Cowboys find a way to block it up. I don't think Rico's going to have another 87-yard game. This front's really good. And right now, some will say if the season ended today, that your defensive player of the year would be Aiden Hutchinson. Leads the league in sacks right now. Leads the league in pressures. I think his motor is tremendous. I think he's aggressive. I think they feed off of him. And more so than I've seen in the last couple of years, he's lining up. Normally he'd be primarily defensive left side, offensive right side. He's doing a lot of snaps on the defensive right side, offensive left side. And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, oh boy. Oh boy, Tyler Guyton, you got your hands full, young fella. You got your hands full. I know some of y'all are thinking, well, maybe we should do Tyler Smith outside. Let me just tell y'all. I'm gonna just tell y'all. To take the first team All-Pro from left guard and move him to left tackle only leaves you in the same place you were before. You just took in one hole, filled it, only to open up another hole. I know y'all think, oh, TJ Bassett, go again, turn on the film. Turn it on. Just press play. Y'all think because, oh, well, we got TJ Bass ain't the answer, y'all. You take Tyler Smith from his left guard position, where he's all pro, and you move him to left tackle, he becomes slightly above average. He goes from all pro at left guard, slightly above average at left tackle. And if you go back and look at the Pittsburgh game, I forgot the defense end. Herbick, before he got hurt, he was doing the same thing to Tyler Smith that he was doing to Tyler Guyton. Tyler got lucky he got hurt. I'm telling you. Go turn on the tape. But now you just make another void, another hole at left guard if you put TJ Bass there. And he is closer to the quarterback. So your best bet might be just leave Tyler Smith right there. Pray for Terrence Steele that he can maintain and just give Tyler Guyton help as much as you can. But Aiden Hutchins is coming. And he going to line up real wide. They usually call it a wide 9 because, you know, you're like the 9 is on the outside. He wide 13. He dang near sometime out there by the numbers. And boy, is he coming with a full head of steam. Pause. He is not taking no plays off. I can guarantee you that. It'll be an interesting game. Let me also say this. There is no controversy. CeeDee Lamb spoke today. For all of you, the non-lip readers or lip reader wannabes or whatever, there was no that's subpar. There was no beef between CeeDee and Dak. CeeDee simply said, jump ball 4, jump ball. I got you. That's it. I know y'all wanted to be more. I know controversy sells. I know mess is appropriate for sometimes. Not this time. Not this time. So that can stay in Pittsburgh, and you can move forward on to Detroit. You want me to give a prediction here? Do I give a prediction here? Yeah? I don't have a prediction right now. No, I'll give you a prediction. I think this is a blowout. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do. I think you see shades of what happened in the 2 losses this year. I'm gonna say the Detroit Lions win. 30 to 17. Detroit Lions 30 to 17. They rush between 175 and 200 yards, 3 touchdowns between those 2 backs. Sam Laporta gets his off. I think Jameson finds a way to takes one to the house too. I think he gets behind the defense. They're rotating some guys in there. I don't know pitch count, Deron Bland, and how they'll do that with the other kid, AO. I think they mess up something there, and he gets behind the defense and he takes one to the crib. 30-27, the Detroit Lions. All right, let's get around sports. an interesting hire for ESPN. Came out today that the ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, are hiring one Cameron Jarrell Newton. Former NFL MVP, former Heisman Trophy winner, former Super Bowl quarterback, appearance quarterback, former Rookie of the Year, Cam Newton. Cam Newton will be a main contributor on First Take. A statement from David Roberts, the executive vice president of ESPN. He says, Cam Newton's addition to First Takes brings an electrifying presence, enhancing our roster of top-tier personalities. His dynamic charisma combined with his high-profile debates alongside with Stephen A. Smith will create compelling, much-watched television for fans. I'm going to give you two opinions. I'm going to give you my opinion why I hate it. I'm going to give you an opinion why I love it. Why I hate it is because ESPN now is just chasing the clicks. ESPN now is just looking for who will say something controversial, who will be loquacious in their approach, who will create some on-air tension, will challenge Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp and others, and that would build some sort of aggressive debate. Whoever will be cinematic. I think ESPN long ago, but I think for sure now they're becoming what they weren't at one time. They're becoming more of just for clicks and likes and just building rosters of names. Now, I don't think Cam's bad. I don't have a knock on Cam, but I just look at ESPN and I see what they're trying to do. And that's why I don't like it, because we're going to get more of that. You know what that is, just that. Here's why I do like it. And you might not like the reason of why I like it. And yeah, I'm going to take the racial approach. The race approach. I like the fact that Stephen A. Smith has garnered enough cachet within the building to begin to dictate who he wants on his program. He's carried that station for a long time now. Now he's coming up and he's won a $100 million deal. I didn't like the way he did that with Dak. But love him or hate Stephen A. Smith, he has formed a good enough reputation. Had the number one program for over a decade. That say how you feel about him. Men lie, women lie. Numbers do not lie. But I do love the fact, because I've been in this industry for a long time, over 10 years. And I've seen us, and I mean us and black people, not be given the opportunities that may have rightfully been deserved. I've seen us be looked over for people that are far less talented. And we talk like, I'm not against nepotism. I'm not. Like, nepotism, in this game, a lot of times, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And a lot of times we, as African American men or Black American men, whatever you want to use, very seldom do we have people in position that are final decision makers. You may be able to have someone that can get your resume to somebody, but there may be two people before the final decision is made. So the fact that there is somebody like a Stephen A. Smith who has built up enough say-so at ESPN that he has the ability to maybe not have the final say-so, but maybe have the say-so that leads to the final say-so. Or he has enough influence in the final say-so. So I look at a guy like Cam, and he's now positioned in a place where he brings an already popular, with his deal 4th and 1. Can't use 4th and long, Cam. But he brings that ready-made thing and those views because, again, this is where we're going. We're going to the digital space, right? Digital is where we're going. The whole cable TV thing is not really, that's not the thing anymore. We're going digital. So on one end, they got Pat McAfee and what he does and the numbers that he does on YouTube. And I think what Cam does, they're bringing in that sort of mix and his popularity from his show onto the Stephen A. Smith show, First Take. So I do like the fact that now in this space, and I think Stephen A. has done a really good job with hiring people of color. When you look at, and he has white people on there too. He has other people on there too. But when you look at the main cast of First Take, Molly's a minority. Kimberly Martin is a minority. And now you start looking at, he brought Shannon Sharp over when he left his situation over with Skip. And, of course, he'll have guys like Marcus Spears, and he'll have my boy Andrew Hawkins, and they'll have different people come on to that show, Bart Scott, and so on and so forth, Dominique Foxworth, you name it, and then he brings, he still has Jeff Fadley, white male. He has Dog, white male. I mean, there are a number of people that come on to that show, Dan Graziani and Adam Schefter. I mean, there are people that come on, and it's not an all-black show, but I do appreciate the fact that Stephen A. has built up enough in that space where people who look like me are having more prominent roles in a space of excellence because he does have the number one show and he's had it for a long time. So that's why I don't like it. That's why I do like it. But nonetheless, congrats to Cam Newton and much success to him and his new endeavors over at ESPN. Moving right along, it is getting messy in New York. You heard earlier this week that the Jets fired head coach Robert Saleh, and they bumped up and moved into the interim position in Jeff Ulbrich. Tearing his name up. My fault, bro. Now, this comes with a level of messiness because folks are saying that Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers didn't see eye to eye. We don't know what the kind of hug push thing was about. But if you have the messy spirit, which I sometimes do, you could just say, hey, that was the beginning of the end for those two. Aaron Rodgers can get on TV and kind of have this sob story about what he feels like with Robert Saleh missing, but I don't think anybody believes it. But here's where it gets messy. I love the pettiness. And I love this move. The interim head coach came in and said, yep, we're making some more moves. Because who was Aaron Rodgers' boy? Who was his ace boom coon? Nathaniel Hackett. He's the reason that Aaron Rodgers came to New York. That was the reason. Jeff said, not on my watch. and demoted Nathaniel Hackett, who was the offensive coordinator and Aaron Rodgers' boy, demoted him and promoted former Tennessee Titan offensive coordinator Todd Downing. I love it. You know why I love it? One, because it's messy and it kind of like he stuck one to Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron thought, all right, good. I got Robert Saleh out of here. Good. Now it's just going to be me and Nathaniel Hackett. We have complete control over everything. And he threw one for the Jeff I'm going to say his name wrong. Ulbrich. He threw Aaron Rodgers for a loop. He said, your boy has no more control over this offense. He said that Nathaniel Hackett will continue to help the offense and help prepare the offense, but Todd Downing will have full control over the offense, and he will call the plays on game day. Boy, I know Aaron Rodgers, that burned the asawasa out of his butt. He had to be hot about that. You get that coach fired, and you think you and your boy about to take over the world? Not so fast, pinky in the brain. Now you got to deal with Todd Downing. So that's going to be interesting. If you're a Jets fan, shout out to my boy Petey. Head on down to that U-Haul place. Head on over to Walmart. Get you a couple boxes. Get some of that good tape. Don't get that cheap stuff. Get ready to pack these dudes up. This is about to get real messy real fast. And every time they lose, it's going to get more and more messy. So if you're a Jets fan, or you had aspirations of the Jets possibly doing some great things this year, pack him up. We'll come back to this later, but I'm telling you, get ready to pack the Jets up. Moving to the NBA, we are weeks away from the NBA season starting. My favorite sport. It is. I love football. Football has done a tremendous thing for me in my life and my family's life, and I appreciate all the gifts that football has brought. But boy, what makes my heart smile, boom, 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 that basketball. I love me some basketball. I could watch it all day, every day. NBA GMs were polled, and I got to pull up. Here we go. NBA GMs were polled this year to give their perspective on the best player at every position. You can answer in the chat. Feel free to answer in the chat, and you tell me yay, nay, yes is right, no is right, whatever. Here we go. The best point guard in the league, polled by NBA GMs. Who do you think it is? I'll give you last year. Last year, it was Steph Curry. He was voted 63% by GMs last year that they polled that Steph Curry was the best point guard in the NBA. He's not the best point guard according to GMs this year. That would be Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, they have as the number one point guard in the NBA right now, voted to that by the NBA GM. 37% of the GMs voted Luka Doncic as the number one point guard in the league, followed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Steph Curry moved to third, and then fourth, Jalen Brunson. The best shooting guard in the NBA last year. Who they have here last year? Oh, wait a second. Wait a minute. Last year, Devin Booker was the best shooting guard according to NBA GMs. Voted number one, 63% of the GMs. He is no longer number one. The number one shooting guard in the NBA, I know he's my favorite player in the NBA right now. Anthony Edwards. Ant-Man, 33% of the NBA GMs voted Anthony Edwards the best shooting guard in the league, followed by Devin Booker. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was number 3. Steph ended up at number 4. Number 5, they put Luka Doncic. Best small forward. Last year, Jason Tatum at 47%. Jason Tatum is still the best small forward in the NBA at 47%. So they felt the same way last year as they do this year with Jason Tatum. And, of course, he's coming off the NBA championship this year. Tied for second is Luka, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James. Fifth, they have his teammate, Jalen Brunson. Who's the best power forward in the NBA? Last year, Giannis Antetokounmpo. 97% of the GMs that were polled in this, NBA GMs that were polled in this, believe Giannis was the best power forward. And they feel the same way again. Giannis is number one. Kevin Durant at number two, but by a wide margin. They have Giannis at 77%. Number two at 7% was Kevin Durant. And, of course, I think you guys want to answer this one. The best center in the league. Don't have many options for that, right? This thing is going to a positionless thing in the league. The best center in the league. Remember, leave your comments in the leave your answers in the comments. The best center in the league last year at 93%, they had Nikola Jokic. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed but the year. Same thing applies. Nikola Jokic, they have 87% of the GMs voted Nikola Jokic as the best center in the NBA. If your opinion is different, I mean, I don't see much of an argument there. I can go with that. I think for me, I don't know what the next level is for Luka. Because he's done a lot, right? Like he's done. You've seen the scoring, you've seen the assists, you've seen the triple doubles, you've seen the highlight games. I think the only thing now for Luka is to win. Like that's the big thing for him. He has to win. He has to win at a rate that gets his team to the NBA Finals and he hoists a trophy. Like that's the next stage. I don't know about it. I don't know what more he can like add to his game. Maybe stop pouting. Maybe that's a thing that he can stop doing. But Luka's game offensively is probably one of the most polished games when he's in shape, the polished games in the league. But I just think there's so much room left for Ant Edwards, and I think he's getting ready to take a jump this year. That is pretty significant. So we'll watch. I'll be watching. You'll be watching, and I'm sure Ant's going to give us something to talk about. Moving right along to college football for me. Two things I want to address in college football before I get out of here. This weekend, the Red River Rivalry. Say that 3 times fast. The Red River Rivalry. River Rivalry. I'm not OU. I'm not Texas. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm a little bit leaning to Texas. And that's only because my brother, Tashard Choice is the running back coach at Texas. That's where my loyalties lie there. And if he's hook 'em, then I'm hook 'em. But I don't have anything against OU. Shout out to Clayton. That's my dude over there too. But I have more allegiance and more allies over in Longhorn. Don't shut me off because if you're an OU fan. I got nothing against y'all. I'm a Tar Heel. Big game this weekend. Quinn Ewers back from the oblique injury. He's set to make the start. Tell me how you feel about that. Leave that in the comments as well. Should they have stayed with young Arch, or should they go back? Well, they're going back to Ewers. And let me just say this. I'm fascinated by this. And I don't know how. Maybe they have a fantastic therapist in Austin. But the way that I think the best job that Steve Sarkisian has been able to do has nothing to do with what they've done on the football field. While that is great, they're the number one team in the country, Texas is. What I am impressed with is in the day and time that we live today, where everyone is jumping in the portal, nobody's waiting for nobody, nobody's waiting turns. I could go get bags somewhere else. people are offering you money and you're not even in the portal. Like in those times that we live in today, I'm more impressed at the way that Steve Sarkisian has been able to keep these two quarterbacks happy. And maybe this is with the help of, Archie and Peyton and Eli and Archie's dad, Cooper. Maybe it's with the help of them and keeping him grounded and like, hold on, nephew. Hold on, son. Hold on, grandson. Your turn is going to come. But I just think about a kid with that much ability, with that much fanfare behind them. I don't see anyone else sitting quietly and happily and not creating any sort of mess, waiting his turn. When, if we're being honest, if Arch Manning entered the portal today, the only people that would not be in business for Arch Manning are those who can't afford him. But there wouldn't be a school that wasn't in the business of trying to get Arch Manning out of the portal. Not one. You name Ohio State, Michigan, USC, Bama, Clemson, Georgia. You name any other Power 5 schools with all the monies. If Arch entered the portal today, 5 million, 4, 5, 6 million, probably more. Teams would go into debt to try to go get Arch Manning. But they figured out a way. And even after him starting and playing decent, and now Ewers coming back and is healthy, you don't hear there's no subliminal tweets. There's no subliminal Instagram messages. There's no TikTok songs being played subliminally about the message. It's just, okay. So credit to, I don't know who to give the credit to. I don't know whether to give it to Steve Sarkisian. I don't know whether to give it to Cooper Manning or Eli or Peyton or Arch to raising a young man into having a little bit of patience, because nobody anywhere, I don't think, would do this. We don't live in a time where Jokers is like, I'm the number one player and I got to sit for 2 years. I'm the number one player and I'm sitting for 2 years. Hats off to you, young man, to Arch. Hats off to whoever and whatever got this situated, dealt with in Texas. But it's impressive because I don't think it happens anywhere else. I don't think so. I think any other kids like deuces, I'm going. I go get a bag at Alabama. I go get a bag at Georgia, Clemson, you name it, Ohio State, Michigan. I'm going USC, Oregon. I'm gonna go get my bag somewhere. I'm not waiting on y'all. Nah, you good. Y'all want to keep playing him? Go ahead. I'm out. But they made it work. So the Red River rivalry will happen this weekend at Fair Park. I do got to give a shout out. This is for you, Tay. This is for you. You're like, come on, Jess. Yo, you can't leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, got to give a shout out. SMU football. SMU football, who many thought, myself included, that they would be the doormats of the ACC. They're entering in. You're like, SMU, let me shut the hell up because my Tar Heels are looking trash right now. I said I wasn't going to give my Tar Heels no time because they don't deserve any of it. So they get Mac Brown. Time to go play golf, bro. Just go ahead and play golf. Just hang the whistle up, bro. Go play golf. But shout out to SMU football. I don't think anybody expected SMU to have this level of success early on. What are they, 4-1 right now, 5-1? Like, playing some damn good football. And they are, and not just playing football against, the team that they pay to come in. Nah. They whooped up on Florida State. They whooped up on Louisville, who was 20-something in the rankings. So They got something cooking over there in SMU. They got something really cooking over there in SMU. And I can see if they continue on to this process, there's a ton of talent. I'm in Texas. There's a ton of talent in Texas. DeSoto, Allen, McKinney, Alito, Cedar Hill, Duncanville, Lancaster. I'm sure I'm missing some. I mean, Frisco got 13 damn schools in Frisco. Name one of the Frisco schools, right? All the Frisco schools. So I don't have to leave any of them out. Louisville, Hebron. I mean, the talent is plentiful in Texas. And that's just Dallas. That's just the DFW. SMU keeps playing like this, I would not be shocked. And you talk about NIL. No. I'm not saying they're Texas money. Or I'm not saying that they're Arkansas money. But SMU got some alumni pockets now. And they keep playing like this, and they get those alumni to open up that checkbook, you might see some of this Texas DFW talent stay right here in the state. And I don't mean going down 35 South to Texas. I mean staying right here in the DFW at SMU. Playing some good football over there. What's the head coach's name again? Rhett who? Him. Rhett Lashley? Shout out to you, Rhett. Shout out to you. Got some good things going over there at SMU. And I'll end it on this. I want to give a shout out to a really good friend of mine, a brother. I want to do a hat tip and say congratulations to my friend, to my brother, to my Tar Heel, Danny Green, the Green Ranger, DG3, announcing his retirement. 15 years in the NBA, 3-time NBA champion. In 14 with the Spurs, in 19 with the Raptors, and in 20 with the Lakers. DG had a 40% career three-point. He was a 40% career three-point shooter. And talk about coming from humble beginnings. Second-round pick in 2009 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Really made his hay in San Antonio. But most importantly, of course, he was a national champion at the University of North Carolina. He's now moved on and doing broadcasting. He's a venture capitalist, has a company in there. So shout out DG, my homie, my brother, my East Coast brethren, Strong Island, Long Island, stand up. Man, if you don't know Danny Green's story, take a look at it. Take a look at DG's story. And to go and play 15 years in the NBA and be a factor. A lot of these championships, whether it's the Spurs or the Raptors or the Lakers, a lot of them, I'm not saying that he was a star, but he hit some big shots in those games. So want to shout out and salute my boy Danny Green on his retirement. Danny Green he's in the snakes. And I'm saying be a reptile lover all you want, but he got some big old snakes, man, that listen, too big for my liking. Well, I wouldn't be able to sleep well with those size snakes that he has. Reticulated pythons and Burmese pythons and all that kind of stuff. I'm good. DG, enjoy the next chapter of your life, brother. Love you, man. Congratulations. All right, man, that'll do it for me. I'm up out of here. Remember, success is not a destination. It is a decision. Find your gift, walk in your gift, and decide to be successful. That's all I got, man. See you guys next week. Don't forget to come on down here to Playmakers in the Colony. They got wing specials and offers Monday nights and Thursday nights. I will be here. Come watch the games. Come have a beer, have some wings, have whatever. You might run into Michael. You might. I don't know. He be here sometimes. Sometimes he don't. Sometimes you might see him on all fours on TV. Sometimes you might hear him screaming somewhere else on TV. Sometimes you might see him on the internet. I don't know. Come down to his restaurant, have some wings, have a drink. See the young people in here are, you know what I mean? Come have a good time. All right, that's it for me, man. Yeah, eliminate the contingencies. I'm out.
All